guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for giving us the time and tuning into this YouTube channel. So this month is an interesting month. I'm not sure if you guys have picked up, but we have this thing where every month we have a theme and a topic, and we try and just share our personal experience regarding the issue. So for this amazing month of October, we decided, you know what, let's just talk about adulting. So much has happened this year, and I feel like at some point, some of the things that were happening, we weren't really expecting them, or just not even this year, just in general in our lives. And being in this place of being, young adults, there's so many things that maybe our parents have never told us, things that we never really thought we would experience, but here we are, we find ourselves in these situations, and you're like, damn, I wish somebody had told me this. Like, I wish I'd known about this. And yeah, so the theme for this month is adulting. And I mean, adulting is such a broad term. There's so many things that are involved in adulting, and everybody's experience is totally different. But there's so many intersections. There's a lot of points where we all can relate to at least one or two things in our journeys of adulting. But on my end, regarding this whole concept and issue of adulting, I don't really feel like it was like a big shock for me. Maybe because I had a very interesting childhood where my siblings and I became very independent at a very young age. So like, my mom was a very like hands-free type of parent. She wasn't like, she would always say, if I die, how will you guys live? If I die, you need to be able to do XYZ. So she really let us be independent, maybe at a very early age. I'm not really sure if it's a good thing, because there are parts where I feel like, maybe I would have wanted to be, babied for a while. But there are parts I'm like, now that I know what I know, and now that I'm living by myself in a foreign country, and I've obviously moved out of home since I went to university in my first year, there are a lot of things that I feel like, oh my gosh, like actually this is beneficial. Like, I am not struggling to do things by myself. So I guess like on my end and my experience in the sense of the adulting was, I was constantly dependent on my mom financially, on the financial aspect of things. And I wasn't really good at handling money, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't get that financial literacy. But in terms of going to the doctor, I would go to the doctor by myself. Handling any form of admin that is related to whether I have to go to the bank, whether I have to go and renew something, or I lost a bank card, or something has expired, or there's an issue with my studies. I always constantly had to be that person that had to be there and defend myself or fix my own problems. Like, my mom wasn't, or my parents weren't those people that would show up and go help me register for university applications, or go to the university and sort out administrative issues. Like, I was never really dependent on my family or my parents to that extent. I've just always been independent when it came to a lot of those things. So I feel like the only part that I really, as I said, was more of like depend on my mom was financially, because I wasn't working, I was a student, so I needed the money. But towards my third and fourth year of university, I got a job, so I started making my own coins. But as I said, like, I think the saving aspect and like financial literacy are the things that I feel like I really wish I knew a lot about. And like, now I'm in a place where I'm obviously not working in the line of my career per se. I'm teaching English. If you didn't know, now you know I'm teaching English. And I mean, I earn well, but there are just certain things that I feel like, like, I want to save money, I want to invest money, I want to do this, I want to do that. but I don't really know how to navigate that financial environment, if that makes sense. Like those investments, those savings, those, I mean, I know that, okay, every month I take a specific portion of my salary and I send it home to my South African account, but there's just certain things where I'm really struggling, like, you know, things such as getting a life cover, getting life insurance, like, you know, all these little things that seem meaningless but make a big difference, like funeral covers, all of these things. Like, I don't really have a lot of knowledge about them. And I mean, it's very difficult for me to even like sign up for those things, or, you know, because I'm outside of the country. I'm outside of my, you know, home country, which is South Africa. So those things kind of make me anxious regarding like this whole concept of adulting, because I feel like are these things that I should really have. Should I have life cover? Should I be investing my money somewhere with some insurance company? Like, you know what I mean? These are things that I really want to do, but I just don't really know where to start, where to go, who to speak to, especially seeing that I'm in the other side of the world. It even makes the whole situation more complicated. So I really wish that, like, you know, growing up, my parents or my mom would, you know, instill like, okay, even when I got my first, you know, stupid job, like, okay, I think you should open up this type of account at this specific place, maybe put 50 Rand, 100 Rand aside every month, so that by the time I'm grown and I'm making serious money, you know, I know which channels that I have to go through and what are the important things, like as a independent grown woman, like what are the most important things that I need to have in terms of like my finances, like these are the things that I need to have on a lockdown, you know, that type of thing. So I feel like, yeah, like those are things in terms of my adulthood that I feel like right now I'm really anxious about money. Mainly because, yeah, I just really want to save and I really want to secure my future. So there's a part of me that really feels conflicted, like, shit, like my money should be somewhere growing or whatever the case may be, and I don't really know how to navigate that space and where to go, who to invest my money with and stuff like that. I mean, you read online, it's not that like I have absolutely no clue what to do. I read online and I know which are the companies that are like praised and are like trusted, but at the same time, reading online and having a parent or an adult tell you, listen, this is what I did, this is how it worked for me, and this is what I think you should do, is completely different. Like having that guidance, you know, the same way that our parents teach us small values like respect, cleaning your room, cooking, being nice, being kind, like, you know, those type of things. You don't have to run around now and be confused and wonder, how do I, you know, respect people, or how do I treat people? But if, you know, and I think that's really something that in the Black community, in my experience, we really lack, where parents are really transparent about things such as finances and how to use money and how to save money and how to invest money. And it could also come from a place where maybe they also don't really know what they're doing, they're just winging it, or it's just, you know, there are certain things where it's like, even though our parents know, but they don't think that it's important for them to share that information with us. I don't really know. But in terms of adulting, that's definitely one of the things that I feel like I have sleepless nights about. But I also think that it's a learning experience, because sometimes I can be so extreme in some of the things that I want for myself, that I remember last year I'd saved so much money, but when I went back to South Africa to visit, things happened, unexpected, like unforeseen circumstances, and I ended up having to use a big chunk of what I'd saved. And I was so devastated. And I was speaking to like I would say she's like an older sister to me, but I was speaking to her and she was like, girl, everything that you're experiencing is normal. None of us just make it and we already have a big savings, and like, you know, it's a process, like you build up to that. So just because you save and something happened, you use the money and now you have to start from the beginning, it doesn't mean that you are a failure or something terrible happened. It just means that it's part of growing up. Like, and now I'm in a place where I realize, actually, Amanda, like, things really just happen. Things will really just come out of nowhere. and the money that you thought is going to go here ends up going there, and then now you're in the situation. And I guess that's also one of the most important aspects of saving, is that it's mostly for a rainy day, to be honest. Like, you know, if anything happens, you can secure yourself and you can protect yourself. So that's what I really learned as well. And that's what I really feel like, damn, like, it's really scary, because it's like, one day if I were to have, you know, my own kids and my own family, like, God knows what will happen, and I need like 100,000 or 50K. Like, I don't really know. Like, I really need to, you know, like, money is something that I really feel like I don't want to be in a predicament where things are happening and I'm really struggling and I can't, you know, hold my family down, or can't, you know, fix the situation. So, like, yeah, in terms of adulting, like, that's really something that I feel like I wasn't really consciously aware of, or never thought about it until I started earning. And now I'm like, you know, I really need to be focused and be very cautious as to how I spend my money and where my money goes. And I'm still trying to work on that, like, you know, really to start investing and putting money away, and, you know, doing things that actually really make sense, that might not be beneficial now, but like in the long run, 5-10 years time, I will start ripping the rewards. And I have to kind of like maintain this type of thing, like, because yeah, something like finance is not something that you start and let go at some point. Like, you need to be consistent and you need to train yourself every day. So I guess, like, yeah, that on that aspect for me, like, my adulting, I'm still adulting, but at the point where I am right now, I think I'm more concerned about really trying to gain that financial literacy, because there's a lot of things that I didn't know that I still have to know and that I've learned so far. So yeah, guys, like, that's it for me. If there are any things that you feel like, you know, I didn't know this about adulting, please let me know in the comment section down below, and let's just have a conversation about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. So please take care of yourself and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.